Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm a sleep physician, and if you have insomnia, this channel is for you. Nice seeing you back. If it's your first time on the channel, welcome. I hope you will find something of interest here. Today, I am very excited to review a very interesting article. In my humble opinion, I came across it coincidentally. A colleague told me about it just last week. Now, if you are wondering, what your bedroom should be like to have the best quality sleep, there are some clues for you here. So without further ado, let's look at the study. What the authors did here was that they provided people in three pre-industrial societies, that is, societies that were hunter-gatherer type societies, where there was no artificial light except small fires. So the technology, again, actigraphy, is the same type of technology that's in your Fitbit. It's an activity tracker that estimates how much you're asleep versus awake. And generally speaking, compared to EEG data from your brain, actigraphy is pretty accurate when it comes to estimating how much you sleep. So what did they find? Well, I think the key finding, the probably most interesting finding here, was that people in these societies slept between 5.7 and 7.1 hours on average. 5.7 to 7.1 hours was the span, which is exactly how much you find in studies in modern societies. So it seems like the absence or presence of artificial light had really no impact on how much people sleep. And that, again, proves something that I've talked about, that we see in study after study after study after study, which is that on average, people sleep somewhere between 6 to 6.5 hours. That is well off the mark that you often hear about. You often hear that you should sleep 7 to 9 hours, maybe 8 or more than 8 hours. And if you don't sleep at least 8 hours, you're going to get all these negative health consequences. This shows again that cannot be true, and there's no evidence to support that notion. So I bring that up time after time after time because so many people have insomnia or are just frustrated with their insomnia because they cannot achieve that goal of 8 hours. And of course, I want you to sleep as much as you can and as good as you can. But in many times, frustration with not meeting a certain goal in itself perpetuates insomnia. So that was one key finding. Now, if we look at this again, you will see that sleep times were significantly shorter in summer, longer in winter. And why is that interesting and important? Well, this study showed that it was not light that determined when people slept. Rather, it was temperature, meaning in all these societies, people did not go to bed or sleep, for that matter, shortly after the sun had set. They went to bed hours later. And also they woke up before the sun had risen. But what you can see, or what they saw in the study, I should say, is that when temperature started to decrease, when it started getting cold, that's when people went to bed. And people woke up almost exactly when it was the coldest. Probably a cue that, it's really cold, it's time to get up. Now, how does this... how should you interpret this, and how should you use this information? Well, I always say that sleep hygiene, which is keeping your bedroom dark and cool and limit noise and don't drink coffee and things like that, have little impact if you have significant insomnia. If you're just tweaking your lifestyle to improve overall quality, then things like that may help. But if you have problem sleeping, sleep hygiene actually has been shown not to be effective at all. Now, after reviewing this, I'm thinking maybe temperature has a role to play here. Perhaps keeping the bedroom cool really does improve your quality of sleep. So I think the take-home message here is light, probably not very important in terms of like, you know, how much you sleep, but temperature, a little bit of a surprise to me, seems to have a big impact. So I hope that was at least interesting, maybe even helpful to you, and look forward to reviewing more articles with you here shortly. If you have any questions, any insomnia related question, if you're struggling to sleep or anything else, post a comment or email me at insomniainsight@gmail.com. Look forward to seeing you back here very soon. Bye-bye.